All right, everybody, got some good news, bad news for you. Jay, what do you want first?
Let's go with the good news.
Good news? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're going to start with dessert. Is that the plan, as my grandmother would say?
Okay, let's go bad.
No,
let's go
it's
bad.
fine. No, we're going
okay.
good news. Okay.
All right.
So the good news is what we're about to. The bad news we're about to tell you about has a very innovative way of being addressed and fixed.
Right.
And because we all love taking our cars in for service, right?
Right.
Not so much. I mean, just from the time consumption standpoint and being without a car for however long. This is probably going to be a little bit more of a modern repair. What we have here is a little issue with the Toyota Supra, which I've said before is really just a BMW. Okay.
Right. It's full on BMW.
Well, I welcome your comments on the YouTube channel.
It ain't a Toyota, but thank you, BMW.
We can go a couple rounds here. It's mostly BMW. Okay.
It is. Yes.
So they've got a little problem with braking. Jay, you want to tell it? You want to now the bad news. Hey, I'll let you do the bad news.
Yep.
See,
now the bad news. Okay, so we all love the Toyota Supra, which is basically a BMW Z4. Toyota borrowed that or has worked with BMW for this particular vehicle, and they've got a little bit of a braking problem. So the braking software on this thing. And I will. Well, let me just say this. Someone says, so when things like recalls have to be issued, it's not Toyota because BMW is the manufacturer of this vehicle. They have to make the announcement. And not only does it affect this particular Toyota model, it affects a ton of other BMW models as well using the same software. And, these things, it happens, but they are addressing the issue. So BMW North America issued a recall just recently for just over 50,000 cars. A little over 13,000 were Toyota Supras built between February 2019 and June of 2021. The problem, according to NHTSA's official campaign, engine management software could cause the loss of braking assist at startup. Okay, basically what that means is drivers will not have any power assistance when they hit the brake pedal, which basically would make it very hard to brake the vehicle at a reasonable distance.
Yeah,
now,
so it still works.
It still works, but just
like
to kind of give you
my grandma's Maverick,
right, where they were power boost. Yeah, if they were power boost, they used to have those big, huge vacuum power boosters on them for power assist brakes, and occasionally one of the vacuum lines would crack or get loose and you would lose, and so the pedal is so stiff you'd have to stand up on that pedal. I literally
remember being at stoplights and like, please turn green,
Exactly. So in addition to the Supra though, guys, the recall affects certain 2020 models like the M340i, the M340i xDrive, the 540i, 540i xDrive,
some
the
of the
X3.
bigger vehicles too.
Yeah, the M40i, the 2021 X4 M40i, 745 LE xDrive, and the 2019 through 2021 Z4 M40i vehicles. The owners of the affected vehicles will be able to take their cars to the dealership to have their software updated free of charge. Now, this is where what Keith and I were talking about. Okay.
Software update.
Software update. We've talked about a lot.
So to be clear here, there's nothing in this recall notice that says anything about replacing calipers, pins.
It's not a mechanical issue.
Yep. Brake lines, cylinders, nothing, right? Software.
Right.
And honestly, from the way it reads, it looks like it's kind of a startup glitch. Like it just doesn't power on the brake assist module.
Exactly, and so probably
it's like
what
booting up your computer with the shift key down or something.
Yeah,
right?
they'll just probably run a firmware update on the software at the dealership and get you on your way. And so, this is one of the beautiful things, and kind of where we want to go with this conversation is that while it is it's an issue and it can be a little bit of an inconvenience, the fact that they're coming out and saying, hey, we're going to take care of this, even on the Toyota side, because it's a BMW. They kind of had to do that because it really is a Z4.
Yeah.
But vehicles are a lot smarter and use a lot more technology in them now, more so than ever. We've kind of gotten all the mechanical issues ironed out overall as far as longevity of the engines, the emission controls on these things, how well they perform, how good on gas they are, the average mileage per gallon has increased over the years because of some of these technologies that are being used. So all of that stuff is kind of ironed out. But now we're into the realm of, we're in this generation and time where more and more vehicles are using these electronics and softwares and computers and those sorts of things.
I wish...
Hence the chip shortage that we're having, right?
I wish they would just stop messing around and go 100% OTA, over-the-air, OTA update for problems like this. Now, the good news is, if you do have to take it in, they plug it in, it probably takes them it's probably a 30-minute repair job, but it's probably only takes them 5 to 10 minutes once they're hooked up to it.
Yeah, probably not that big of a deal. As a technician, they would want to test drive it just to make sure it works, or have you go through a series of checks to make sure that they're okay.
I just wish that BMW would upgrade their infrastructure for OTA to do stuff like this. So we recently, my son actually did a review that I haven't even gotten to edit yet, but on the 2021 Lexus RX. And I drove it, and I went, hey, what's this little icon up here in the corner? And we started looking in the book, and it basically is a data recorder, much like Tesla uses, that's just phoning home on everything back to Lexus and Toyota. So, they're all going to this model of capturing your data and using over-the-air, usually cellular networks, to send that data back. You can tell software versions, firmware versions on vehicles last time they connected. If the last time it connected was yesterday and it's got an older version of the software, that pretty much tells them to push the software update out. Then you can respond, make it at the end of the, you can do a confirmation that it updated and report the current version of software and make sure it's what it should be and all that. I don't think we're that far away from that. I mean, Tesla's already doing that.
Tesla's doing it. It's having the infrastructure or the ability to be able to go grab that over the air. And speaking of Tesla being able to do it, Elon is involved in the Starlink network, which basically has been developed so that people have access to Wi-Fi or internet connectivity just about anywhere, mainly targeting the rural areas outside of the big cities and metropolitan areas where it's not so easy to get a cable out there. You can do over the air. I think we're not far away from us being able to do this on all modern vehicles, some sort of firmware update push. Now, Keith, we've talked about this too. With having those abilities, understand these new modern vehicles, you're probably going to have to give up some of your privacy in order to obtain these updates. Now, and that means some sort of understanding of how you drive, because it may be the way someone drives that causes a specific issue, and they have to take all those variables into consideration.
Yeah, so I hate the all or nothing approach. You get the cookie notices when you're surfing the web, Jay. It's like, this website, now they're required to report that, right?
They're now for example, the new operating system on all of the iPhones, it lets you know that this website wants to track you. To make they're being forthright and saying, we want to make your experience better.
Which may be true.
But the only way we can do that is if you allow us into your world. And at least right now, Apple is allowing their consumers to make that choice for themselves.
So some websites, not all, but some will go, well, there's an in-between option. So it's either accept all, deny, or allow, they'll say allow certain ones, and you can go down the list and pick which ones. And that's pretty cool. And I sort of feel like from a tracking and a consumer data, driver data perspective,
sure,
they've got to break it out into multiple categories. It can't just be all or nothing. I mean, it's the same way you just mentioned on your iPhone or your Android phone. Like, you can turn on and off of an app. Can it use your camera? Can this app use your camera? Yes or no? Can it use your microphone? Yes or no? Can it track location data on you? Yes or no? Can it track, and
indicator lights that are
right?
letting you know that it's being used, like a camera or a audio.
I feel like there should be an in-between on some of this vehicle data where you kind of have a little bit more control over which specific features are tracked. Right. I will also point out that I feel like SiriusXM is kind of missing a huge opportunity here. And it wouldn't be the first time they've kind of had their heads up their butts, but sorry, Howard Stern. But, look, Jay, every car, new car that's rolled off the lot in at least the past 5 years, most of them have either built-in satellite radio or the ability to add it, right, directly?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
there aren't no CD players anymore, so people go for that. You just mentioned
Starlink, right, which is more internet-based, I get it, than SiriusXM, which is not data-based.
Right.
But SiriusXM already has the satellite infrastructure in place. That's where Starlink does not. And Elon's dealing with a lot of challenges right now. They can only target large centers of population with that satellite service because it's so expensive to launch. Even though he literally owns the rockets, still too expensive to get them up there. So it's like, well, SiriusXM, what are you doing sitting on your hands here? Like, the cars already have your hardware in them. Start working on a data module for your satellites that you could use to...
That's a good point.
Work with the dealer network. I mean, this is why I'm here, Jay, is to tell the CEOs of other countries, other companies where they're screwing up, right?
Do you know who the CEO of SiriusXM is?
I thought it was Howard Stern. Do we?
It might be, but what we need to be. Let's reach out to him and say, hey, man, let our people talk to your people, and let's get you guys together, and maybe you and SiriusXM and Starlink can kind of bridge that gap and get us closer to these the reality than we currently are. I think we need this technology in our lives today because we have become such a modernized, technologically advanced population this time in our lives that the exponential growth that we have no control over just because of consumer usage. Everybody wants. It's a new thing. You got to have it. At some point, man, the bubble's going to burst and you're just not going to have the infrastructure to be able to handle this. So why are these people not? Why is Bezos trying to have luxury flights up into space? Why doesn't he use that money for this type of stuff?
I've got your answer on SiriusXM. So the person that you want is Jennifer C. Witz. Okay. So I think what happened here is we have a dropping the mic situation.
Jennifer, we will be at SEMA. Just let's talk.
Look for the hat, Jay. Look for the hat.
Yeah, we'll be at SEMA.
So Jim Meyer retired on December 31st, 2020. He dropped the mic and moved over to the board of directors, which happens from time to time in these companies.
Yeah.
Jennifer Witz was promoted from president of sales, marketing, and operations to CEO.
Ooh.
So she's up here now trying to run things, but I think maybe it was more lack of vision from her predecessor for this kind of thing than it is for her. But hey, Jennifer, this is a great opportunity for you to shine, like Jay said.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Make a move, man. Do it. I would. I'd be reaching out. And who knows? We may think we have a great idea here. They may already be working on it. But
by the way, Jennifer, I'm super pissed that you removed the MLB package from my existing.
Ooh. And don't ever please do not ever get rid of Yacht Rock.
Anything else we need to, since we've completely derailed this from BMW recall to...
I like Hair Nation, man, and I love Ozzy's Boneyard, so there you go. Hey, this is brought to you by SiriusXM Satellite Radio.
No,
we're just kidding.
Although I wouldn't be opposed to that.
That would be cool. Hey, reach out. Well, our people, your people, we can do this thing.
We got some notes for you.
We do. But anyway, guys, yes, thank you guys so much for watching this segment. Hey, we'll be at SEMA. Come check us out. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel as well as ring that bell or click that bell. And go on over to our website at partscounterguru.com. You can check out our podcast links there. Also, make sure you check us out on social media at facebook.com/partscountergurus. We're at instagram.com, the Parts Counter Gurus, and we are also on Twitter, And our handle is @TheCounterShow. So don't forget, right? Anything else?
That's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you on the next click.